All right, creatures of the night. Welcome to episode 224 of our encyclopedic
Yeah.
exploration to get the career of the greatest professional wrestling character of all time, The Undertaker. Whew, I feel like I've messed that up the past couple weeks, past couple episodes, so I wanted to nail it that time.
There you
So,
go.
there you go.
Nailed.
I want to thank everybody out there in the PSK, the Pod Street crew, for joining us for yet another round of Dead Man Talking. My name is Alex Dorio. I'm one of your co-hosts, one of the creatures of the night here, and I am joined, as always, by my fellow co-host, my fellow creature of the night, my wrestling buddy, and he is my best friend. But the rankings could change at any time, so just keep that in mind, there, buddy, Mr. Travis White. And I say that because it's one of my favorite moments and lines in the movie The Iron Claw, the award-winning movie from 2023 about the Von Erich family, and it kind of swept the wrestling world and entertainment world by storm. And I thought we should cover it here on the podcast, man, because I just recently watched it. It just went onto streaming, and I kept waiting and looking in there to see our man, The Undertaker. And I feel like his scenes must have got deleted on there because The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, as the Punisher, was a huge part. He had a huge rivalry with the Von Erichs, and I couldn't believe they didn't cover it on there. So we're going to try to make up for that here tonight. We're going to cover some deleted scenes from the Iron Claw, if you will. Some of the Punisher's matches against the Von Erich family wrestling out in Texas in the USWA. Travis, were you surprised to not see the Punisher featured in the Iron Claw?
I wish I could say yes. After watching this stuff, yeah. Like, why the heck was he not in there, man? Big Pun was very vital to Kerry Von Erich's rise through the rankings of the USWA and the Sportatorium. So, yeah, this is some fun stuff, man. This is like the Snyder cut, of the Iron Claw. We're going to give you the
Bingo.
scenes that were left on the cutting room floor, even though, they're not really. But, yeah, it's the extended edition and Snyder cut,
Yeah.
So.
And we will talk about the Iron Claw movie for a little bit as well, because we both
because I saw it in theater.
Saw it.
Great.
Oh, you saw it in theater? Yep.
Yeah,
I
back
saw
at Christmas time, whenever it was.
I saw it on Amazon a couple nights ago, so we have some thoughts on that, and we'd love to hear your thoughts out there, because all you out there have probably seen it by this point as well. Hopefully you have. Very interesting movie. Got a lot to say about it here. And then, yeah, I never thought we'd really get a chance to talk about the Von Erich family. When did you first hear about the Von Erich family? Because they weren't really part of WCW, and only Kerry just had a little bit of a run in the WWF. So they, when we were growing up, they weren't exactly mainstream to us. They would have been in the '80s. Like, when did you first see anybody or hear about the Von Erichs?
I think I vaguely, when we get to the end of this, we're going to cover a WWF match or whatever, and I think I remember from that era, I remember Texas Tornado, just seeing him and how I thought he was Ultimate Warrior without paint on, basically.
Yeah.
But then, obviously I got out of wrestling for years and then got back. And I think just once I dove back in 96, 97, it was consumed by everything wrestling. I just dug in my own, and was renting stuff and reading stuff and written tapes. I think I just found it on my own like that, or, interviews with people. But at that point, I just dug into all the stuff. But yeah, I didn't really know them about the legacy of the Von Erichs while I was actively watching as a kid, obviously. So yeah, you were a big Texas Tornado fan though in WWF, right?
Well, dude, yeah. So I came in 1991, and so Kerry would have been there as the Texas Tornado, and then I would watch rent tapes and stuff, and yeah, he was somebody as a little 5-6-year-old. He jumped off the screen to me back then. I don't know, his look, the tassels on the boots, the discus punch. I loved all that stuff, and yeah, my first gimmick as a little kid was I was the Tennessee Tornado.
Yep.
Growing up, that's what when I wrestled with my dad or wrestled with my Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy, I was the Tennessee Tornado. And my mom even made me, it wasn't airbrushed, it's like sticky gel, paint, whatever.
Gel paint stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Puff
sweater.
Paint. Puff paint.
Puff paint, yeah. Sweater that it's the state logo, Tennessee, and a little tornado in there, man. I was so proud of that, so excited about that.
I think it's a ride at Dollywood or Opryland.
It might be
Tornado. It was. Yeah.
I should sue them.
You should. Gimmick
Copyright
infringement.
That's right. But yeah, I loved him. And then, man, once I got online and read about the whole Von Erich family and the Von Erich curse, it was kind of mind-blowing to see that. And then I remember WWE put out the History of World Class DVD,
Yes,
and that's when
that
I really dove into the whole story. And whew, it's a heck of a story, and it's a heck of a movie. I feel like they couldn't even get across everything.
Well, really. They literally cut a brother out. I mean, yeah,
exactly.
Not cut a brother out, but cut one of the brothers out. Yeah,
yes. And that's how sad of a story it is.
Yeah, because it would have been too much.
Exactly, man. Wow. So yeah, we'll talk about all that, and we'll talk about our reactions to the movie and where the Punisher could have fit into there. I think it's a really fun, really unique episode. But before we get into that, we got to do our monthly Undertaker sightings. And we did two episodes last month. We bumped it up into an official episode. We're going to do Undertaker sightings on there. So we got a lot to cover for the month of March here. Quite a lot. But before we get into that, I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor for tonight's episode. And we are very excited to be sponsored by Stub Forge. Stub Forge, Travis, is a really, really cool service. You and I, we have had discussions on here. We have showed here on the YouTube channel some of our ticket stubs.
Yeah.
Great events we had WrestleMania 20 ticket stubs. We still got that. We have the stub on the Georgia Dome. Yes, 25 years ago. We showed that off because it's such an important moment. You gotta keep the ticket stub. You're a big collector of stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, especially back in the day.
It's a one-of-a-kind item.
And you can get it signed too. Like the Miz signed our WrestleMania 27 ones, right? Or our access things.
Yeah,
right?
right? Right.
Yeah, I think Diesel signed it too, and like we had a bunch of signatures. So yeah, having something like that, you can't say here's my phone, digitally sign my my ticket on Ticketmaster.
My picture of my wife
right with my pen. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my wife. Sorry. Didn't know she's gonna pop up.
Spoiler alert.
Well,
I can blur that out if you want.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, that's what's amazing about Stub Forge, because like you said, we don't have that anymore. It's almost impossible to get a physical ticket these days.
Yeah.
I went to SummerSlam last year, and we went 2 years ago, no tickets. We just have a little thing on our phone. Stub Forge allows you to change that. So you can go to their website, you can go to stubforge.com, and they have a program where you just type in the details. I played around with it yesterday. It's very simple. It's actually pretty fun to use. And you can put in the event title. You put in where your seat was. You put in the price, the time of the event, and all that awesome stuff. And you can create your own replica ticket. You can get a printout physical ticket. There's Travis showing it.
Showing up. Yeah, there it is right there. It's cool.
You get a physical, actual replica ticket. It looks just like the ticket you get from Ticketmaster or Live Nation or whatever. They're going to print it out and send it to you for a great price. It's actually super cheap to just get one, or you can actually build on, and you could make a big order and get an even bigger discount when you order multiples on there. So I know that's going to be huge for all of our listeners out here and all our viewers on YouTube. I know I can name some people by name that I know who will love the service, and I know a lot of people listening to it who, you're going to WrestleMania this year, or you went to SummerSlam last year, any Raw, any event. Maybe you get that one Dead Man Show event or something like that. Or heck, maybe it's for concerts. Maybe it's for a Foo Fighters concert or a Pearl Jam concert, and Need Debris concert. You can get that memorabilia like you used to get back in the day with Stub Forge. It's also great because you can use these tickets for other ideas. Say you're having a wedding, or say you're having a birthday party, and you want to make it into like an even more cool special event. You want to give people a really unique memento that they could take home with them. You could do that with Stub Forge. You can make it for Travis and Jenny's 10-year anniversary party, something like that. You can print those out, give them to your friends, take them out
WrestleMania party.
WrestleMania party. Nitro party.
You're driving up. You're gonna have your ticket for my house to watch it with me.
That's exactly right, man. Church youth groups. You got church events, things like that. You can have them pass these out to their friends and invite them. There's so many different ways you can use Stub Forge. So what we want you to do, we want to invite everybody out there in the Pod Street crew to go to stubforge.com and just start playing around with it. Like I said, come up with an event that you went to recently, or maybe you went to Nitro 25 years ago and you don't have that ticket anymore. Well, you could recreate that right here, and you can have that memory back in your hands. You can put it in a frame on your wall. It could be a past event. It could be one event that's coming up soon. Go to stubforge.com and play around with their ticket making tool, and make your first replica ticket. And what I want our listeners to do is to go to our social media. Go to @TalkingTaker on Twitter/X, Facebook, or Instagram, and show us one of the tickets that you made, and tell us why you would make a replica ticket like that. So, like, I keep bringing up SummerSlam because I went to it, but maybe you went to Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia last year, and you didn't get that physical ticket. Or maybe you went to an event and it was the first event you went to. Tell us the story behind you want to have a replica ticket of that event. Share that with us on social media. And what we're going to do, courtesy of Stub Forge, we're going to send one of our lucky Talking Taker listeners that replica ticket right there. So we're going to send you that first one on us, the person who shares the best story with us or has the best event on there. We're going to send that to you absolutely free, courtesy of Stub Forge. But I'm telling you, you're going to start playing with it. You're going to come up with all these other ones that you want. And I know a lot our listeners, Travis, you're always asking for their stories of the events they went to. They're going to be coming up with all sorts of things that they can get tickets with on Stub Forge. I mean, I mentioned some of them. Do you have any coming up or any other recent ones that you'd like to get a ticket for?
I'll make one for one of the shows I played.
I was thinking that earlier today.
Concert. Is that pretentious? Yes. I don't know.
No, not at all.
It'd be fun. Yeah, it'd be cool to get one for if I give one of my kids, I think we're going somewhere. But yeah, we give one for like WrestleMania or something. But yeah, that'd be cool to, if I can't make it to SummerSlam this year, I might make myself a little ticket if I can't go with you guys. We'll see.
That's a great idea, though. Like, you surprised your kids, took them to a house show a few weeks ago. Like, what do? You just show them a picture on your phone?
Exactly, yeah.
Instead, you could print out an actual ticket to hand to them. How cool would that be?
That's awesome. That would be pretty cool. So they
can start building their own memories and collections.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I love definitely some cool ideas. I love this. This is a cool idea.
So head to stubforge.com. Go ahead and play around with it. You don't have to set up an account or anything. It's super simple, super easy to use. And share with us that image that you make of your first ticket. Tell us the story behind it, why you'd like that replica, and we'll pick one of you out there in the Pod Street crew to send that to. And like I said, it's super, super affordable, super easy to use. So you're going to start ordering all sorts of replica tickets through stubforge.com. So thanks to them for sponsoring this episode. I can't wait to start printing out and making my own tickets with them as well.
No doubt.
All right, so let's get into these Undertaker sightings. We talked about a little bit, I think, with Randy, but just a quick follow-up on Sting's retirement, which we devoted our entire March episode to, the Undertaker versus Sting. I know you haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but man, it was incredible. I thought it's right up there with the Boneyard match, man, as far as one of the best retirement matches I've ever seen. So really, really cool. And Undertaker did talk about it a little bit. I'm sure some people have seen that on YouTube and, put over Sting and talked a little bit more about reasonings behind why that match never took place. Still not really ever got a straight answer. Still just kind of dancing around it.
He said Vince didn't see it. Vince didn't nobody asked Vince to see it. I don't know. Everyone, the fans wanted it. So
exactly.
The customer's always right.
Yeah.
Not always, but yeah, most of the time. So,
but he did put him over a lot, so that's cool to
yeah, he
hear.
did.
He does
He
respect him a lot.
admitted that like Sting got in I think a few years before I did. He's like he's been going at it for 40 years. So
Yep.
more power to him for being able to do it for longer than he could. So yeah, and
Yep.
he looks great. So yeah, it's nice to see that there. I really don't think it was like a Taker doesn't want to do it with Sting. I really don't. I think it was
No.
more of a behind the scenes thing. Just Vince didn't see it, or they wouldn't have thought it was going to be a good match. So some people were like, "Well, Taker nixed it." I'm like, no, I really don't think he did. Like, so
I don't think so either. I think there's some politics at play, and as we know, Vince is a weird guy in more ways than one. So just whatever tick he was on that day, just didn't see it for some reason.
Yeah, maybe Sting sneezed when he walked by him, and he's like, "Oh, forget it."
Could have been easily.
Could have been something as easy as that.
But Sting did wrestle Triple H, and I want to mention Triple H. Seemed like forever ago, but we never talked about it. He did appear on a One Dead Man show. So not a One Dead Man show. There was another guy on there, but
Two Dead Men.
Yeah, back in Australia during Elimination Chamber festivities, Triple H came out of the One Dead Man show. So that would have been amazing if you were there and didn't realize it. And Triple H comes out and they shoot the crap out there. Really, really cool.
That's a cool surprise, especially when it was unadvertised and everything. It's a nice little treat for them.
Absolutely. Speaking of another great rival of Undertaker, we got another really good episode of the Rivals series on A&E, and this time it covered Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. And I did watch it. Did you get a chance to see it?
Yeah, it was good. It was nothing really new, but there were a couple new like talking head interviews, but no new information, but it's just fun to rewatch, and it's fun to think about how iconic, especially those last two matches were, but they only wrestled 5 times on pay-per-view. It's insane.
Yeah.
As iconic as their rivalry was, it was only 5 matches. That's it. So
and they never faced on,
and it was
up until before 97. Like,
that's
never
crazy.
had a house show match or a Raw match or anything like that.
It doesn't make it. It's like how Taker and Jericho never had a feud, or like Batista and Lesnar. What?
Yeah.
How do those two guys on the same roster never feuded? Like it's crazy. It's insane. But yeah, they again maybe because they only wrestled 5 times, their matches were iconic. Of course, they had the tag match afterward. The destruction of DX. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it. Although we did do a bonus episode.
They didn't talk about it on that Rivals episode, I don't believe so.
But I did appreciate they did like cover their whole rivalry. Besides that, I really thought they're just going to start with Man 25.
Yeah, me too.
They did a good job. They hit all the stuff from 97 as well.
Yeah,
so
Ground Zero and all that stuff. Hell in a Cell. Yeah.
Those A&E shows are not like must see, but they're really easy, quick to watch. You can throw them on in the background. They're fun.
I think the new Roman Reigns one, which may have aired by the time we drop this, it is supposed to be must see because Paul Heyman actually directed it. And producer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Paul Heyman is the actual producer and director of it, so it actually may be one that's a must see. But yeah, you're right. Most of them are kind of like, if you're introducing my kids to wrestling, like they can watch. It's like it's fun, nothing harmful, nothing, nothing crazy either though. But yeah, just casual fan stuff.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Paul Heyman because I thought we should mention he's going to be headlining this year's class of the Hall of Fame. And we have covered him quite a lot on the show, going all the way back to WCW when he managed Mean Mark, to the rivalry with Brock Lesnar, to the Dudley Boys, to managing CM Punk. I think we both had him on our top 10 rivals of all time of the Undertaker. So we got to mention him going in the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Can't wait to hear his speech.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone who'd be in our bottom rivals of all time as well as going in the Hall of Fame. IRS. I can't believe it. Is going in the Hall of Fame. But seriously, in all seriousness, Mike Rotundo, congratulations, and Barry Windham as well, especially after the year that they've had. A very cool moment to see them get inducted.
And he feuded with Taker for Money Inc. for a long time, So a lot of those early '90s feuds were with, your boy IRS, or at the helm at least. So.
I just can't believe I have to refer to him as a Hall of Famer if we ever talk about him again.
Yeah, I know.
Goodness. I don't know if this guy will be a Hall of Famer, but because I don't keep up with UFC these days, but there was another Undertaker-inspired UFC entrance last month.
Oh yeah.
A guy named Michael Page came out, and it's not. I thought it was a little strange because the other guy, Israel Adesanya,
Adesanya.
yeah, he did such an amazing job,
Yeah.
and it was so cool. And this guy was not as in depth and not as cool. It just kind of came out to Taker's music. It's like it's been done, man. Like
Yeah.
you got to come up with something else. But at
Yeah.
least he did win his fight, so
There you
at
go.
least he didn't taint that legacy or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool clip. Again, it just goes to show you the power of the Undertaker and the reach of him into mainstream
Yeah.
culture.
And
And
he's a big UFC fan too, so that's a
I'm
feather
sure
in
it
his cap.
popped for him for that as well. So happy birthday to the Undertaker as he turned 59 this month. And could we be seeing this 59-year-old at WrestleMania 40? There's been some rumblings that there might be some legend interaction at WrestleMania 40. I certainly don't think there'll be a surprise match or anything. But what do you think? What are the odds we'll see a Dead Man appearance at WrestleMania 40?
I think if it's anything, it's like a backstage or just he'll ride out as the new American BA type guy. I don't see him. I don't see him interfering in that Cody Roman match like some people are clamoring for. Having all the legends come back and help him beat the Bloodline. I don't think
Nah,
that needs to be done.
not either.
But I mean, if he's anything, I think it'll just be like a backstage, or he may not. He may not want to do anything. He'll definitely be in Philly. There's no doubt in my mind he'll be in Philly. But will he be on screen? I really don't know. I really don't know.
I could see him getting tucked into it because it's 40. It's the
Yeah.
big one. Who knows where he'll be for 50? He may not be able to come out and be 69 years old. Is he gonna be able to come out and do a choke slam then? This might be the last big chance to do it on this sort of major WrestleMania stage. So I could see it. I could see him even busting out the Dead Man maybe for WrestleMania 40 because it's 40. I was trying to think of people he could interact with. Best thing I could come up with would be like the Grayson Waller effect. Maybe he's out there talking trash, him and Austin Theory. How about the gong rings and Undertaker comes out and gives those guys a choke slam? I could enjoy that.
Yeah, I could do that. Or he could walk by the Judgment Day or something backstage. I don't know. Priest could be going on about something. He could just kind of stare him down or something. I don't know, but yeah, I could see him doing something with him maybe. But
yeah,
I don't think he'll want to be on screen. But this is not in our notes at all. But I read a recap of an interview with Elias. Ezekiel, I guess he goes by Elijah now. He's very biblical. All his names, I love it. He's a religious guy too. He's got a Christian album, I think, on Spotify or something.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I had no idea.
Well, even his WWE theme, his like little EP he had like 6 or 7 years ago is kind of religious theme. But anyway, he was talking about how was at WrestleMania. When was that?
34.
35 was right. 35 is when he got chokeslammed, or 34 is it?
34 no, was 34. I was there.
That was him and Cena, right? That was
he got chokeslammed the next night. But he was interacting with Cena. Like Cena was in the ring and the lights went out and Elias came out first.
Yeah.
Cena beat him up, sent him packing, and then
and then I think the next year Taker was not on WrestleMania, right? 35,
right.
I think. Didn't do it. But
the next night on Raw.
Next night he chokeslammed Ezekiel or whatever his name is.
Elias.
Elias. Yeah, sorry.
You're thinking of his brother, Ezekiel.
Yeah, that's right. His brother wasn't there yet. He wasn't signed yet, so he's still in NXT. Anyway, so yeah, that was going to lead to the Saudi show, he said. But then it got turned into Goldberg. It got turned into the Goldberg match. But I was like thinking, like, I wonder what a different end of Taker's run we would have gotten if it would have been Elias. I mean, obviously he would have won over Elias, but he wouldn't have got his bell rung. He wouldn't have felt the need to redeem himself because the match stunk so. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been interesting, like butterfly effect. So, but he talked very highly of the Undertaker. Obviously, he had minimal interactions, but yeah, it was multiple WrestleMania seasons, 34 and 35 that he interacted with him. And he just said, I loved all of it, and he's just such a great guy, and really wish he had that crown jewel match or whatever it was with him. So
Yeah, I wish we would have too, because that was a fun little feud. It probably would have been similar to the Rusev match.
Yeah,
like 5 minutes, but it would have been cool to have him have an official match with the Undertaker.
would have been a new figure for you too.
Would have been, I probably should get an Elias figure.
Well, the Goldberg, you got a Goldberg. You wouldn't have got a Goldberg.
I do have the Goldberg.
Either, so yeah.
Unfortunately, that's a backer. He's in the back of the shelf. But yeah, cool story. Yeah. Well, Ezekiel and Elias, they were not in the Iron Claw either. I don't know. He may not have even been born yet when the early parts of this movie were taking place. But yeah, that's what we're talking about here. The Iron Claw and how the Undertaker, aka the Punisher, how he interacted with the Von Erichs and in that territory. But I thought we'd just give a quick little review and thoughts on the movie before we jump into these matches. We got, I think, 6 or 7 matches of the Punisher and the USWA. We're going to cover kind of similar to how we've done our Memphis episodes. We're just going to do some quick and dirty thoughts on and talk about some of the highlights and observations for some of these matches.
And lowlights.
The highlights and lowlights. There are both. But yeah, what's like just 1 minute review of the Iron Claw movie?
I thought it was very, very well done. And I was very impressed with the actual in-ring wrestling on it. A lot of wrestling movies that involve wrestling, the actual wrestling in the ring is either quick cuts or it's real tight shots on the faces or upper bodies of, as the wrestlers are moving. You may get one little, kind of a wide shot with them doing a drop kick or something, but you can tell it's a stunt double or whatever. But this one had a lot of really long, uncut shots of like away from the, almost like you're watching wrestling, like you're watching the actual wrestling. So I thought that was cool because Chavo did all the choreography and training for the actors. So I thought it was really cool that they actually let that part shine in the movie. Like did not expect to see so much actual in-ring action, or at least wide shots. And I thought it was me up close and stuff. But as far as that, like the actual storyline, I thought it was really cool. Obviously, they had to take some creative liberties and cut. I think Brother Chris was cut out of it.
Yeah.
But you really just feel the weight. It's not a wrestling movie. It's a movie about a family. That wrestling is just a backdrop, in my opinion. I tell you what, man, the last scene with him and his kids, I got choked up in it because I have a brother, and I don't want to spoil that scene for people, but the words that were said and all that, I was like, whoo, man, that got me, dude. So, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. So, yeah, it was, I was like, man, I didn't expect to get, pull up my heartstrings during that movie. So, it was good and well acted, I think. I think Efron, who I'm not a huge fan of, he nailed it. Jeremy Allen White nailed it. Ric Flair, terrible.
Yeah. I almost felt like I'd read so much about it before I'd seen it. Like I almost felt like the Ric Flair was not quite as bad as everybody made it out to be. It wasn't good, but like I was really prepared for it. I mean, I almost see what the guy was trying to do, but just there's so many people who could do a good Ric Flair impression. Like, how could you not find somebody
get Jay
who could do a better one? Sure. Why not?
It'd have been better.
Yeah. Man, I guess we won't spoil anything, but I mean, everybody knows the story of the Von Erichs, but as far as the movie, the scene after Kerry dies, that I guess Kevin is imagining. Oh man, that's the one that got me.
That too, yeah.
That one really struck me and was really, really, really lovely. I agree. I thought everyone's performances were excellent. I watched it with my wife, and I could talk about some of her reactions, but she laughed when they showed Kevin was supposed to be 6'2" or something. She's like, Zac Efron is not 6'2". Like him and Jeremy Allen White were both a little too short.
Jeremy Allen White's movie. Our size, like 5'8", he's not a big guy, like Tom Cruise. So,
but I wasn't really familiar with Jeremy Allen White. I know you're a big fan of The Bear, but I
wasn't at the time though when I saw it.
Oh, okay.
When I saw the movie, I didn't know who he was. And then I was like, this guy's really good as Kerry. And then I became a fan of the show The Bear. And I was like, oh, no wonder he was good as Kerry. He's great. Like, he's really good. I think he was in some other TV show. not Succession, but something like that. It was Shameless, maybe. My brother said he used to watch Shameless, and that guy was in it too. So, but yeah, I thought he did a great job as Kerry.
He's in talks to be Bruce Springsteen.
Exactly.
Like
I thought I was
80s
going to bring
Bruce
it up.
Springsteen.
Yeah.
So, that's intriguing.
So, he did a great job as Kerry.
I thought Holt McElhaney as Fritz, I thought he might have been the best performance. I thought, and I'm a big fan of him, the show Mindhunter. I don't know if you ever watched that, but he's great on that. And
I didn't know him until I saw the movie. And I was like, man, he makes me want to punch him. Like he made me hate him. Like
he was, yeah.
But
he's
he
a
was
great
like,
Fritz.
There's parts of it where you're like, this guy's kind of over the top about the way he's treated. But like, no, that's how he was.
I think that's how Fritz was.
Yeah, from everything I read, like, and it was he's 80s dad too, you know. So it's like this is a different breed, or 70s dad, I guess, rather. So yeah.
And Maura Tierney was great too. I wish she'd had more to do.
Oh, she's always great.
She is, man. I couldn't find the exact tweet, but it was back when it was out. It was talking about what are the odds that she's in another movie about the claw? Talking about Liar Liar.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
2 movies now where the claw is a vital aspect of it.
Funny.
So I think, again, I waited a long time to see it, so I read so many reviews and saw so many people's reactions. I almost didn't feel like it lived up to my expectations, and I had really high expectations for it. I still really liked it, but I probably give it like a 3 out of 4, probably. And again, mainly the performances were so strong. I just felt like they didn't have enough time to tell the entire story. And
it could have been 3 hours long.
I think it should have been like a Netflix series. This should have been like an 8 episode or 10 episode
like Glow
miniseries. And that way, because once stuff starts happening in the movie, it starts happening. And it's like, you don't even have time to breathe from it. And it just, it goes by. It almost doesn't have enough time to really let you process or let it all hit you all at once. And I felt like, if we'd had a couple episodes to get to know everybody, and then like one tragedy happens, and then the next one happens the next episode, and then the next one, I don't know, I feel like it might have worked a little bit better. But as it is, it's really cool that they were able to tell this story and in such a respectful way and in such a powerful way. It's really, I feel like for Kevin and the Von Erich family, it's kind of a nice way to have closure and to make something really beautiful out of it.
Yeah, and it's like, too many wrestling's a joke in Hollywood sometimes, so it's always just laughed upon, or it's, it's Ready to Rumble, obviously, is, it's like that. You get wrestling portrayed like that, but this was nice to have a little bit of respect shown on it. And you get to see Jerry Jarrett. You get to see how the territories were, and talking about Ric Flair being the real world champion, traveling all over the country and all over the world. It meant a lot, like to be the world champion. You saw the pressure these guys were under, and that segues into watching what we're about to talk about. Just like they talk about in these matches, we're talking about like being the world champion and being the Texas champion. Yes, this next step to being the world champion. It was all so real, real. And I kind of like that they portrayed that in the movie, even though it's fake, it's real.
Yeah, no, very respectfully told. You said the guy who played Ric Flair was terrible. The guy who played Harley Race, that was some good
Spot on.
For that guy.
that was beautiful. Yeah. I was like, let's bring him out and start wrestling.
Sure.
Be like Harley Race Jr. That'd be great.
I told my wife this. This may not mean anything to anybody listening, but my wife she went to school for the music degree and classically trained opera singer. This story would make an incredible opera. And I've seen more opera in my life than I ever thought I would by marrying Kate. But it has all the elements of like a tragic opera and the overbearing father figure and it's so much loss in there. Like if someone were to ever make a wrestling opera, this would be the story to tell from it.
Oh yeah, it also make a good Who album, like a Tommy or like a rock opera. They could do a Von Erich. That'd be great.
That's your job, is to write that.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
All right,
can you hear me? Anyway. So, Tommy, can you hear me?
So if the Punisher and Percy Pringle, who we're going to talk about a little bit here, if they were to be cast in the Iron Claw, if they were to make a sequel of the Iron Claw and have them interacting in there, who do you think in Hollywood today should play a young Mark Calloway or a young Percy Pringle?
Ooh, golly. Trying to think of somebody who's that. What if it was Kurgan? Yeah, Kurgan.
No, that's insulting.
I don't know anybody who's that tall. It's like 6'7".
Oh,
That's an
he
actor.
doesn't have to be that tall because Kevin and Kerry weren't that tall.
I'll say Vince Vaughn, dude. He's not doing anything else. It'd be great. He is tall. No, yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe
my
that guy.
suggestion was,
you know what? Maybe the guy who's in Saltburn. The not Barry Keoghan, but the other guy.
Who's the other
the
guy?
guy he's kind of
I've never seen it.
infatuated with. Man, I'll look it up.
I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah. That guy. He's kind of tall, and he's a really good actor.
Jacob Elordi.
Sure. Sounds good. What else is he in?
That
works.
I don't know. He hosted SNL.
Oh, wow.
He's in Priscilla, Euphoria.
Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacob Elordi. Yeah. Yep. I'd say him.
I could see
he could probably
that.
play me, Mark. He's pretty tall. He's a good actor too. So
my suggestion was Rupert Grint from Harry Potter movies, the redhead.
Yeah.
I could see him doing that.
Yeah.
Or Bobby Budnick from Salute Your Shorts.
Probably the same age as Taker.
No, he's like our age.
No way.
Yeah, he is. Maybe like 5 years old. He's in between.
Mid-40s, yeah.
Yeah. What about
Percy Pringle?
Percy Pringle.
Ooh.
Mine.
Man. Dude, I go Tom Cruise.
Sure, absolutely.
Dude, Tropic Thunder. Dude, go Tom Cruise, just fully.
What a compliment.
Yeah. Tom Cruise to be it, dude. With that wig on and just go. I feel like where you can't tell it's Tom Cruise. Dude, that would be perfect.
I don't know if he can nail the voice, but
how do you top that?
I can't top that. But mine was going to be Jesse Plemons. You know him?
Who's that?
He's in
yeah.
Killers of the Flower Moon. He's on Fargo, Friday Night Lights. I feel like he can nail that.
He's in the new Civil War movie coming out too, isn't he? He's like, that guy. Yep. Oh yeah, he could do it.
I can totally see him pulling it off. Or you want to go stay with Slit Your Shorts? We'll just have Donkey Lips play Percy Pringle.
Slit Your Shorts. Iron Claw 2.
Yeah. We're gonna reunite the Salute Your Shorts cast.
Oh man. That makes you want to crack open one of these.
There you go. Oh, it's a party now.
There's like 11 of these in front of me.
Party.
My wife's closet.
What is she doing, man?
Oh, they're for the kids. If you guys hear them, they're in the bathtub out there. So if you guys hear them roaming around, I apologize. Sorry.
Hey, we're used to it on this podcast. Okay, just last question. Where do you rank this in the pantheon of wrestling movies, or TV shows? Is it near the top?
Man, as far as honestly, I'd probably rewatch this one before I rewatch The Wrestler. Does that make that? I would say that. I don't really have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, but like Ready to Rumble's my go-to.
Of course.
That's not a good movie. But yeah, I'd say this, over The Wrestler. Wrestler was really good performance and stuff, but I just like this. This was just more well done, I think, as far as the overall story. It drew me in more as far as the story of the family, So I'd put this over Wrestler. I can't think of any other wrestler movie. Like Glow was good, but I'd probably rewatch this before I rewatch Glow.
No Holds Barred.
Definitely rewatching this before I rewatch No Holds Barred.
Scooby-Doo and the Curse of the Speed Demon.
Ooh, you make a good case. Probably rewatch this first.
Escape the Undertaker.
Oh, that's definitely number one. So.
That's number one. Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I've been wanting to rewatch The Wrestler. That's been on my list because I hadn't seen it since it came out.
15
probably.
years. Yeah.
And I thought it was incredible. And neither one of them are like a fun rewatch.
No.
Probably.
No.
But I want to rewatch that. But I think I'd
make an X for DX.
That's what you should do. Yeah, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, to raid your closet. If you're just listening to this, you're not even understanding what's
you gotta go watch the audio clips.
Check us out on YouTube. Yeah, I think I'd put the wrestler at the top, but this is up there, and I think people are gonna come to appreciate it even more as the years go on. I just wish it had been a little bit longer, or maybe even been a TV series instead of a movie. But
TV series would be great.
Yeah,
that's always ideal. I think everything should be a TV series.
Yeah, most of the time,
you have more opportunity to get into the characters, and let's go 15 episodes or whatever.
Well, I could have done 15 episodes of The Punisher in the USWA in the year 1989. Time-wise, this is taking place, after all the deaths, except for Kerry.
Yeah.
And this is taking place after the motorcycle accident, too. So, stuff we're watching with Kerry Von Erich, he's only got one foot, which is
one leg. Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It really is. And gosh, my wife didn't know anything about the Von Erichs, and when they have that shot of him after the motorcycle accident, he's like in the kitchen, like she was like blown away by that.
It was watching him try to wrestle in the backyard with Kevin was like pretty neat. Trying to watch him bump and stuff, and he was getting frustrated. I was like, yeah, I'm sure that's how it was, dude.
Oh yeah, just incredible.
He wasn't in it.
No, he wasn't in it, but he could have been in it too. He might have been in the crowd. I don't know. Some of these crowd shots. Well, we got some matches and some highlights of the Punisher leading up to his big showdown with Kerry Von Erich here in the USWA. And the first, I'll put the playlist of stuff we watch on YouTube on our social media in case you want to watch these. And I do encourage folks to watch some of this stuff that we're watching. But we saw him enter the USWA. I don't have a time or a date for when this promo took place, but I think it's his opening promo when he comes into the territory. This would have been after he was Master of Pain. On Jerry Lawler. Now he's traveled over to Texas, and I think we may have covered one of these matches before, but the Punisher is a masked character, generic black mask, black tank top, chaps, black pants. So you really
I mentioned he looks like one of the bad guys in Beastmaster that like put their arms out and suck your blood or whatever and lay your body land. He has like a mask on, and this promo he has like a big dog collar. Too, with spikes on it and stuff. Yeah. Doesn't wrestle in it, obviously, but yeah.
Leather vest and everything. And
very 80s.
I think we just have to play this whole promo here on the episode because we're not even going to do it justice. But his promo skills have not improved all that much since the Memphis days here. As he says, take a good look at what's standing in front of you. 6'8", 305 pounds of pure chiseled steel. I got to call it my home to the Badlands. That's where I roam free. And the General, Skandor Akbar, said, I got some things I need you to do. There's a bounty on Erich Imby, and there ain't but a few days left. And I said, it won't take me but a few days. I'm going to work my way through these teeny bopper heartthrobs you got there. Be looking, because I'm on the way. And
and he names the teeny bopper heartthrobs. He says Kerry Von Erich, Chris Adams, Matt Bourne, and Jeff Jarrett, which keep those names in your ear holes, ladies and gentlemen, because they're all going to pop up. And I was just thinking, man, if those are the teeny bopper, like just, golly. That's bad. Matt Bourne is your teeny bopper heartthrob. That's rough, dude. I can see Jeff, and I can see Kerry.
Oh, Jeff, for sure. Yeah. Really scraping the barrel there with
Embry and Chris Adams, and
Is it Embry or Imby? Because he called him Imby.
It's Embry. He says Imby early on, and at the end of the promo, he says Embry. So if you guys catch it, we put it in the podcast.
Should we retape this? Nope.
Nope.
Moving on to the next one.
We're live, pal. Yeah.
I love that he got a call out to the Badlands where he roams free. So this was way before cell phones. Well, you're right. I don't know how they got a hold of him or where the phone line was.
Maybe send him a message in a bottle or something. I don't know, man. Smoke signal.
And they ain't but a few days. Well, it's just going to take me a few days.
As luck would have it, I've got a few days.
That's all it's going to take.
That's all it's going to take. So you're in luck. Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Well, the Punisher's going to come into the territory strong on September 16th, 1989 against Billy Joe Travis.
Triple first name.
He sounds like a C-level country singer from 1989.
Yeah.
But he's going to be...
your stub forge to make a Billy Joe Travis concert.
Please, tell us the set list for that show. We got Mark Lawrence on commentary here, who is, I have some things to say about old Marky Mark, but he calls the Punisher Skandor Akbar's greatest find yet. So the Punisher is a part of Devastation Incorporated, which is Skandor Akbar's stable. We talked a little bit about Skandor Akbar on that last Main Event Monsters episode, but
yeah,
I was fascinated to learn when we did that episode that Skandor Akbar is a white guy.
yeah. Me too. I was gonna say. I mean, he's from like the hills of Tennessee or Kentucky.
Yep.
Like he's not what you think. So.
Nope.
And they use some offensive language throughout this to call him names and stuff you can't say nowadays. Probably shouldn't have said them, but it was more acceptable. So,
yep.
Yeah, we won't repeat those.
Nah, dude, I read his name in magazines for years and thought he was like an Iranian or Iraqi.
Yeah.
He's not.
No, it's just a Texan. It's crazy. Yeah.
But before Billy Joe can square off with the Punisher, Eric Embry, and Percy Pringle are going to come out to interrupt. And I'd also never seen Eric Embry before. I'd read that name before, and dude, I died.
Austin talks about him a lot. Austin wrestled him a lot in USWA. Yeah. But yeah, say what you're about to say. Sorry, I didn't cut you off.
He comes off and he's got this leather jacket on, and he wants to fight the Punisher, and he takes his jacket off, and what was on under his jacket, I was not expecting, man. He's got on like a blue meanie Stevie Richards half t-shirt and a big beer gut coming out of there. And his nickname is Flamboyant Eric Embry, and he's just got Flamboyant written across that shirt, and it just killed me, dude. I was not expecting it.
Yeah, watching this through a lens of nowadays, it's just like they were trying so hard, but it's just like, oh man, that shirt, the half shirt, the Stevie Richards half shirt with the flamboyant puff paint on it or whatever it was, it was wild. The bar was set really low for attractiveness in the USWA. I'll say that much.
He was a teeny bopper heartthrob.
Yeah, but the ladies love it.
Sure. Well, he doesn't get to fight old Billy or Punisher. Billy Joe, I guess he needs some beer money to take out Bobby Sue or something after the match. So he's going to face off with the Punisher. I don't know if that was a wise decision here.
Yeah, so they start that, and Big Pun, I'm going to call him that because I am. He starts off with a press slam and a leg drop. It's a clothesline, and he goes for old school. And while we're hitting old school, we got the announcer saying, holy shades of the spoiler. Holy shades of the spoiler.
He couldn't remember who it was.
Yeah.
He was so thrown off by it. Mark can't remember who he's saying, but he says it like 3 times.
Yeah.
And then he compares the Punisher to Kamala. And
I don't know.
I wasn't sure that was supposed to be a compliment or not.
Maybe it was a diss. So yeah. But.
And Mark Lawrence also wants to give our well wishes to Harley Myers, who just had a heart attack the other night, but is back in the crowd for tonight's show. So
was he just like a
good to have
fan?
You here. I think so. Yeah.
Had a heart attack this morning. He's back in the ring. That's like Kurt Angle tearing his peg.
I believe it.
Tear his quad.
Texas wrestler in 1989.
Oh yeah. I believe this guy was like, heck no, sign me out. I gotta go to the sportatorium tonight. So, but also, man, the crowd's chanting, "We want Erich," which poor Billy Joe.
I know, right?
We want Erich. Yeah, it's wild. So.
Well, they get Erich. Eric Embry runs in shortly after this. He's got a 2x4, like he hacksaw Jim Duggan, and he hits Punisher, and then hits him again. And again, he annihilated Punisher with this 2x4. He hit him about 20 times.
It's like Rock Mankind Royal Rumble 99 style.
Seriously.
He's just pulverizing them. So,
but one of Punisher's partners comes in to make the save for him. Guy we're going to talk about here shortly. Taurus Bulba.
When they said his name, I was like, what in the Star Wars is that? What? I don't know what a Taurus Bulba is.
Yeah,
but
he should be on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I feel like he's a bounty hunter.
Seriously.
From Mos Eisley. Or I texted you and I was like, he sounds like the original NXT name generator was USWA, apparently.
Apparently so.
Yeah. Because PY Chuhai, Taurus Bulba, I mean, you got all this crap. So.
Well, I actually learned from Googling Taurus Bulba, that's like the name of a old novel and like a movie from the 60s with Yul Brynner that's about like
Oh
this
my word.
Russian-Ukrainian war from the 1700s or something. And Taurus Bulba is the main character in that. And here he's the Mongolian monster or something.
Mongolian outlaw or something.
The outer Mongolian.
Oh, yeah, the outer Mongolian. Mongolian outlaw.
That's one of Billy Joe Travis's songs.
Yeah, he's called the outer Mongolian.
Right.
And how would you describe this guy? I mean, it's like Friar Tuck with a like rat tail. You know,
well, it's hard to see because this footage is in whatever the opposite of HD is. That's what this footage is. Someone ran over it with their truck on the way to the studio. It somehow continues to devolve. But from what I can tell, to me, he looked like he could be like Bronson Reed's dad or something, or his uncle, like same body type, haircut. He's got more of a mullet than Bronson Reed does, but that's who he reminded me of.
If you guys remember Reno from 2000 WCW, he looks like if Reno was built like Taz, but then add another 100 pounds. So
that's a perfect description right there.
There's Taurus Bulba.
So, put that in your AI generator, and that you'll get a picture of Taurus Bulba.
Please, somebody do that. Reno built like Taz was 100 pounds.
See what comes up. Well, Kerry Von Erich does make the save there as well when Taurus Bulba comes in. So that's a little bit sort of this rivalry that we're going to see throughout some of these matches. Is Kerry Von Erich, Eric Embry, Jeff Jarrett, Matt Bourne up against Skandar Akbar's crew, Devastation Inc.
Yeah. Well, that leads us to the next match, which is from September 30th of '89, which is the Punisher versus Scorpion. When I saw this, I thought I was reading a Marvel Comics story.
Seriously,
you know, those are both Spider-Man, antagonists.
That's
so
right,
the Punisher and the Scorpion. So yeah, I was like, what is happening right now? So
well, it's certainly not as colorful here. The Scorpion guy is not Scorpion Sting either. I mean, This is just a jabron with a generic purple mask on. I wrote this looks like the joke match you would see on an 80s sitcom when they do a wrestling episode, like if Full House had a wrestling episode where Uncle Joey has to fill in as a wrestler or something. He would be the Scorpion. That's kind of what he would look like. I guess
you're not wrong at all.
He's just the most generic looking guys, which is crazy. I mean, I do want to talk about the Punisher a little bit because he, we covered all that Master of Pain stuff, and you can already see him growing. Like he's a lot more confident in the ring. He's a lot crisper in the ring and what he's doing. It's still very limited in his moveset. But on the last match, commentary says when he walks the ropes, they're like, a man who walks the ropes at 6'8" and 330 pounds. Oh my goodness. And like, that's what he brought to offer. And you could tell, even though they had him under a hood and this, nothing gimmick, this guy had a lot of potential.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's definitely comfortable as a heel, which is funny. Of course, he would be a heel when he comes in as Undertaker, but he wasn't allowed to do this type of stuff.
Oh, he's talking trash. He's taunting and doing stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. So, yeah. Well, this match is basically a squash match. Honestly, it's some body slams, elbows, big boot suplexes, old school. And then again, they're impressed by him going up top. I think they even say something about the spoiler again. Pretty much every match, like he walks ropes like the spoiler. So just that's your if you're playing the wrestling video game, and Michael Cole calls the same calls every time. That's exactly what this is. So, yeah. But they talk about I think Skandar Akbar's on commentary, right, and talking about him having the Punisher has a big match with Kerry Von Erich coming up. So that's kind of the storyline through all this stuff.
Yeah, and Taurus Bulba comes out again and beats up Scorpion a little bit on the outside, and Punisher hits a tilt-a-whirl slam and tosses him around, as commentary says, like 100-pound sack of potatoes. I don't know where you buy 100-pound sack of potatoes.
Who needs 100 pounds of potatoes?
Seriously.
Well, that's probably how they lived. They got paid.
That's all they fed them.
Like a dime. So I remember Austin talks about getting paid by Jerry Jarrett and potatoes and the hot dog and stuff. So yeah,
that's what he's talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Punisher picks up the win. He's got a diving clothesline and a leg drop. Gets the pin. They're heating him up for this big encounter with Kerry Von Erich that he's going to have. But before we get there, we're going to get an exciting tag team encounter.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing they do, I think it was Skandar Akbar. He talks about, they've got the Iron Claw, blah blah blah, but we've got the Mongolian Claw, Taurus Bulba. So I mean, I don't know if Iron is not as strong as Mongolia or what. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We're going to see a little bit of that here.
But yeah, it's going to lead to this tag match. Then this is Chris Adams, but I swear they said Chris Adonis on the commentary. I know it's Chris Adams. Maybe he was called like the Adonis. I don't know, but I heard Adonis a time or two on commentary. I was like, they may have just never called him. They may have just not know his name.
Oh, I definitely think Mark Lawrence was drunk during half of this stuff. That's one of the best things about listening to 80s commentary, or whether it's him or Lance Russell or Gorilla Monsoon and Lord Alfred. I swear these guys are drunk half the time.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Punisher and Taurus Bulba, the tag team of the year, against Kerry Von Erich and Gentleman Chris Adams. And I know you have fond memories of Chris Adams, man.
Watched him on Saturday night quite a bit growing up, man. Yeah. Gentleman Chris Adams. Didn't realize how big a deal he was. Like, again, those guys at the end of their career were on WWE Saturday night and kind of jobbing on Nitro and stuff. And I didn't know they were like him and Barry Horowitz and Barry Darsow. Like, I didn't know at the time, like, those guys had kind of a big deal earlier on in their career. I think Austin's first match was against Chris Adams, or no, trained by Chris Adams, but I think his first match was against Frogman LeBlanc or something like that. Something like that. But Austin talks a lot about wrestling. Eric Embry. He never mentions Taurus Bulba, but mentions Chris Adams, mentions Matt Bourne, guys that he cut his teeth with, in the ring in Dallas. So all these guys are, would go on to have a big hand in a lot of stars we'd know, that we'd come to know in the future. So
he wrestled the Punisher, and we covered that match on the last Monsters episodes.
Yep.
That's why we skipped over it here, but I've been in this territory. And again, I was researching old Bulba, and I didn't realize this, but he's better known as Johnny K9 or as Bruiser Bedlam, who was the subject of a Dark Side of the Ring episode a couple seasons ago, and is also a convicted murderer. So that's why he was on Dark Side of the Ring. But this was before those days.
That explains a lot.
It explains quite a bit. So
have you seen that Dark Side?
Oh, I have. Yeah, I just didn't. I'm sure they talked about Taurus Bulba, but I didn't put that.
Wow,
I forgot.
I may have to watch that one.
It's one of the best ones because he's got a insane story.
Yeah, I might watch it. Yes. I've never seen any of them full, but I might watch that one. That's wild.
That was a great one because I didn't know his story, and it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it deserved an episode.
That's sad.
Be from the makers of the Iron Claw. If they want to do a sequel, it should be about Taurus Bulba.
Yeah.
As ugly as that man is, I just gotta say the robes and the jackets on Adams and Von Erich, just outstanding.
Just beautiful, man.
Gorgeous.
All these guys had great robes. And again, getting that from Flair, who got it from Playboy Buddy Rogers and stuff. I mean, and you got.
Was that Taurus Bulba out there?
One of my children in the bathtub. Sorry.
You need to go check. Are they drowning?
Okay. My wife's out there. Sorry. This is off the rails.
It's the curse.
It's spring break. Yeah. And Panama City Beach in the bathtub. So
Nitro. Spring breakout.
Yeah.
Who's the last guy is Bobby Roode the last guy that had like a good robe?
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, and his were great, dude.
Oh, his were great.
Bobby Roode's
glorious.
So good. Yeah, Bobby's the last one that had a real good robe. Nobody really does them. Cody. Well, now Charlotte, hers are always amazing. True. But as far as a guy,
that's true. Yeah. No, Charlotte's count.
Does Cody? Cody's never. He's got jackets stuff.
Not really a robe.
He needs a robe. He has like the long trench coat type things. He has, but he needs it. Yeah. I could see Cody doing one.
I'd say it's in the same family as these. It's certainly a throwback to a classic wrestling gear. Yeah, I give you that for sure.
Charlotte, she's probably the best nowadays as far as robes go. So she's flawless. But
love a good robe.
Yep. Yep. But yeah, the referee here is Bronco Lubitsch, who also, yeah, what
Could
a
also
name.
be an NXT name.
Yeah. But
or a Star Wars name.
we got Boba Fett, Taurus Bulba, and Bronco Lubitsch.
And Grogu. Yeah, that's all the next.
All chasing down Luke Skywalker. That'll be like episode 4.5. Think about like a midquel, you know. Taurus Bulba, Bronco Lubitsch, and Boba Fett.
That's on a Clone Wars episode. I'm pretty sure somewhere in there.
Maybe it's when the Bad Batch came out this week. I haven't watched it
That's
yet.
right.
So, yeah.
Well, this match is wild, dude. This match is insane. They have it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, honestly.
Yeah, Kerry and Punisher open it up, and Kerry cannot knock Punisher off his feet, so they're giving him quite the rub there, because we know how powerful Kerry's punches are, and he hits him with it, but Punisher won't go down. And guys, this is not like a Texas Tornado match, I don't think. The guys are just like running in and out of the ring all over the place. Commentary's off on some tangents with Skandor Akbar. He's talking about this imaginary magic medicine bottle or something that he used in some match, and he's lying about it. Mark Lawrence asked Skandor Akbar, "Did you send Punisher out here to lock Tony Atlas in a cage?" Just like no reference to anything. I don't know what they're talking about here.
Some inside joke from backstage.
I wish we'd seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, dude. There's just stuff everywhere. There's like all four of them get in the ring, and then they're not in the ring, and then Kerry and Punisher in the ring. Kerry's hitting the enziguri, which was a high spot back then, you know? It's pretty big. And
pretty impressive for a guy with 1 foot.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yeah, it is. Akbar insults, must be the highest form of insult, but he insults Chris Adams and says he's from Biloxi, Mississippi.
Not from England. He's not an Englishman. He's from Biloxi, Mississippi. And Mark Lawrence was not expecting that, dude.
He caught him off guard.
He goes silent. He's just like, wow.
It's like when McAfee says something, I was like, I just yeeted all over myself, and Michael Cole's like, like you can't get it. Like, it reminded me of like that. Like, yeah, dude, Lawrence was not ready for that. Prepared. So
he can't recover from that.
No, he can't. He even says like Biloxi, Mississippi. He's like whispering it out loud, like because he's so tickled by it.
And Akbar also says, you could put Punisher with anybody and he would make a world-class tag team with them, which is like, we've always said that about Taker. Tag team specialist, dude.
More tag team titles than any other title. Yeah,
he's an underrated tag team guy. But
he is.
This is fun, dude. They go outside. They're in like a little studio, like back in the day, and all of a sudden Kerry just goes to the back exit and throws Bulba out of the ring.
He's like, "Get out! I'm done with you."
Out in the parking lot.
Yeah. And then he comes back, and like Bulba comes back in. They all four start brawling. Adams and Punisher wind up in the ring. There's more brawling outside, and then we go back out the door and we see the beautiful downtown Dallas, which nobody has ever described Dallas as beautiful, I don't think. So, except people that live there.
Except people that live there. There you go.
But then I think Mark Lawrence hits on the nose. What does he say?
He just goes, "What a mess." That's exactly what this is. But it's the Master of the Iron Claw versus the Mongolian Claw, and Bulba tries to lock on the Mongolian Claw, but Kerry's like holding his arm up, fighting it off.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the grandmas in the crowd chanting, "Go Kerry, go! Go Kerry, go!" And he fights back, but Bulba fights him off. And again, like I can't keep up with who's legal man. They just keep going out here.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. Yeah, at this point, then somehow Kerry and Adams are in the ring, and Adams gets a headlock. Bulba gets out of it, tags Punisher in. They're making tags now. I don't know. It might as well have been a Texas Tornado match because it should have been all over the place. So nobody's holding the tag rope. It's insane. Maybe Bronco Lubitsch is the one that lost control.
I don't even know where he went during all this.
Yeah.
He was smoking a cigarette out in the crowd or something. But Chris Adams does hit that beautiful super kick. I believe it was his signature move. I don't know if he was the first one to ever do it, but I think he was the person I knew that popularized it there. But it doesn't knock Punisher off his feet again. We rarely see him go off his feet. It just knocks him into the corner. Kerry tags in. He hits a couple of discus punches that Punisher just no sells. And all of a sudden, Kerry slams Punisher into a table on the outside.
Yeah.
And then Kerry ends up back in the ring with Taurus Bulba and small packages him and pins him out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Yeah. It's just insane.
It's just over.
Absolute mayhem.
It's chaos, but it's very fun.
It was fun. For what it's worth. I mean, it's wild. Yeah. So anyway, that was a mess, but it was fun.
And that's building to the big match that we're going to cover here, the Punisher versus Kerry Von Erich from 10/20/89. And this is for the USWA Texas heavyweight title. And I could not find the match where he won it, but the Punisher comes in as the champion.
Yeah.
So again, he's getting a huge push. We saw him in Memphis territory have that title, and now he's got the title here.
And I'm assuming, just based on the context of the commentary during this match and afterward, I'm assuming this was, they say it's the next step to the world title, basically. So
yes.
You're the number one contender, basically, once you have this. So they're talking about Flair, right? I mean, the NWA World Champion.
Well, they talk about this a little bit in the movie.
Aren't they?
Like, I think Kerry has this title, or maybe Kevin has it at some point. They talk about, the Texas champion, but they want to be the world champion. Yeah. That's the stepping stone there. They actually do reference this a little bit in the Iron Claw movie.
So I would say, like, relative to current landscape, it would be your Intercontinental title. It's the step down from, the world title or whatever it is. So,
each territory had their titles back then, and they would, their champion would face off against the traveling world champion. Yep.
So pretty cool. But
dude, Kerry looks like $1 million, man.
Yeah.
He comes in through the crowd, another beautiful robe on. I mean, this guy was a star.
Oh yeah, the crowd loves him, and they really do. He's a white meat baby face that you can get, and the whole family was, but it worked, he was like Superman, but he was so over. It's wild to see.
Yeah, the ladies howl when he takes his robe off, and
I think I might have too.
His beautiful red tights on, but I thought Punisher, even though he was green, he showed a lot of confidence, a lot of ruthless aggression, if you will, and very, a lot of. He was being very aggressive in the ring, and he was just kind of a natural at this whole stuff.
He was, man. And they start out and go back and forth a little bit, and Kerry's going to hit a discus punch, and the crowd pops huge for that. They know it's one of his signature spots there. But Punisher, again, like you mentioned, he stays on his feet. He's not knocked down off his feet here. That's kind of the story here. But at some point, Punisher goes for a leapfrog and gets a little too high and can't really stick to landing, but he gets up and winds up hitting a drop kick on Kerry. So a little flub dub in there, but it is what it is.
He stayed on his feet until he tried to do his own move, and then he couldn't stay on his feet.
Yeah,
jumped too high. But yeah, he hits a body slam, which he could have taken a shot every time somebody did a body slam in one of these matches.
You'd be drunk in a minute.
Been wasted.
Yeah.
And he's taunting Kerry, another slam, and Punisher hits a bunch of arm drags, and he gets up and he's going, "Let's wrestle! Come on, man, let's wrestle!" It's so funny. You can hear the voice, and you can tell it's Taker.
Yeah. So Kerry's going to hit some body slam. I think he hits like 3 in a row, and then some more arm drags. And Punisher, as he heals, like tells the ref he was pulling his mask and everything. And we go to commercial, come back, and Punisher's uppercutting Kerry, knocks him out of the ring, follows out there, and then they kind of brawl outside of the ring for a little bit.
Yeah, and then they go back in. Kerry hits another discus punch, and Punisher still won't go down and starts working the arm. Punisher gets back in control, gets an abdominal stretch, but Kerry's
so good.
Yeah, it's a nice abdominal stretch. Kerry hip tosses him out of it, and he locks on the claw. And this frustrated me, man. I guess Kerry was getting some home cooking here from the referees because Punisher goes to the ropes, and he gets all the way in the ropes while Kerry's got the claw on. But the ref doesn't break the hold, and Kerry just pulls him out of the ropes back to the center of the ring.
Well, I wondered that. I wondered if that was like a Texas thing, like they didn't do that, or if you had to be under the ropes to break. I wasn't sure what the rules exactly were. But yeah, it frustrated me too as a fan of traditional what I know of wrestling now. I was like, that should be a broken hold, but
Yeah.
it wasn't. That frustrated me. Remember Austin and Angle in SummerSlam 2001? They did the same thing. That frustrated the heck out of me when Austin got the ropes and they didn't break the ropes.
Punisher got screwed. Texas screw job.
He did. Big pun got screwed.
Well, Kerry keeps the claw on. Punisher tries to stay standing. It's really wearing him down, but Punisher does fight out of it. And but Kerry comes running back and hits a big splash on him off the ropes, but Punisher kicks out at 2.
Yep. Then Kerry's going to try to take it home here, hit a sunset flip, only gets 2. Punisher with a small package, that's 2. Kerry gets a backslide and holds him down for 3 counts. So
backslide.
Yeah, dude. What a heel move. But no, it's a babyface move at a time like this. But yeah, it's really cool. I love the simplicity of the ending of this match. I love that they weren't hitting their finisher. They were just doing pin attempts, a sunset flip pin, a small package pin, a backslide. Like those are, if you treat it as if it's an actual sporting event, those are moves you would do to actually try to hold your opponent's shoulders down. So I really like that. It gave me an NWA type feel. I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah, very simple, very basic, but gets the story across. And Kerry wins the Texas Heavyweight Championship here. And Punisher immediately tries to attack him after the match with the belt, but Kerry grabs it, hits Punisher with it, and he leaves through the crowd. And Travis is reenacting the crowd reaction here because
my guy.
We cut to the crowd. There's some
taking a hot drag off the cig, dude.
Texas Cowboys celebrating in the front row, ripping a cig.
Oh. Where did we go? We lost everything. Sorry, guys.
We don't promote smoking on this show, folks.
No, exactly. It got the best of me there.
But that's what I want to see out of a wrestling fan. Man.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Indoors.
Yeah.
In the front row. Texas is built different.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the drags off the cigs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that guy was so happy. He's like, let's go. Yeah. He was ready, man. He was ready. Well, my laptop just died, so I'm going to pull my notes up here on my phone. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
I got it. I'm ready.
So the next night, or the next day on TV, October 21st, 89, we're going to get a confrontation again between these guys. And I had to throw this in here because we're going to get a little interaction with Percy Pringle III. He was hosting this episode of USWA TV. He's filling in for Mark Lawrence, even though he's not as pretty as him. But apparently Mark is at a TCU football game. So Percy is stepping in. And I did look it up. On this day, TCU hosted Air Force and beat them 27-9.
Dang, beat the Air Force.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. The old Horned Frogs.
Yeah. Jeez. Lighten up. 27-9.
So, like I said, this is the day after this Punisher match, and Kerry's going to come give his little victory promo, and it's a really great, heartfelt promo from him.
Oh yeah, and after seeing the movie too, it's probably real. It gave me some better context or stuff. So yeah, Kerry's talking about how this title means more to the Von Erich family than anything else in the world. He says that he talked to his mom last night, and she told him to give that title the respect that your father gave it, Kevin gave it, Mike gave it, David gave it. So. Are they all dead at this point?
well, Kevin's not, but
Kevin's not, but the rest of them are.
Yes,
yeah. I think he even says Chris's name, if I'm not mistaken, too.
He might have.
But and then he said she started to cry when she told him not to forget about bring you got this one, but you got to bring home the world heavyweight title. So really cool, a really good babyface promo from him.
Yeah, and like you said, like once you've seen the movie and you go back and watch this, it gives it a lot more context. And, Percy says Punisher was a tough man, and then he mentions Jerry Lawler. It says Jerry Lawler said he wasn't going to come back and give Kerry a title shot until Kerry had a belt, and now he's got a belt now. So I assume he's talking about the AWA title, because that was the only big belt that Lawler had. And then Kerry quotes his favorite Miley Cyrus song and says, it's a climb.
Dude, I was gonna say that in this. I was like, this Miley Cyrus must have been watching replays of this when she wrote that song, dude, because he might as well have said, like, not about how fast I get there. It's about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. He might as well have said that, dude. And just because it's just I thought of her the entire time he's given this. I was just thinking of it playing in the background. Like, it's the climb. So
that would make a great Babyface promo. Just quote the lyrics to
yeah.
It really
ain't
would.
about how fast I get there. Yeah, that'd be great, dude. So
I could see Cody doing that on the Go Home show after WrestleMania next week.
It's about it's the climb to finish the story.
Percy says Punisher is bad, and with Skandor Akbar in his corner, he's twice as bad, and he's a kingpin of the wrestling world and can't be taken for granted.
Kingpin? Another
Marvel
villain. Golly.
Kerry says he thinks the Punisher would take down Ric Flair in about a minute. So, shots fired there. Which is, again, funny.
Yeah.
After having seen the movie and seen their interaction in there. And we know the Punisher would go on to defeat Ric Flair at WrestleMania many years after this. But Kerry says Taurus Bulba, he's got his sights set on him next. I wish we'd seen that match.
Yeah. I just can't take the name Taurus Bulba. It's just wild. But all right, so Skandor comes out with Punisher and his like his business cash gear, dude. But he's still got the mask on.
It's like when we saw Kane come in, like in '98, like walking in from the car
with his gym suit. Yeah. Like his grandma sweatsuit. Yeah, he has his hat on, but he's got his mask on still. I'm like, dude. But he challenges Kerry to get back in the ring, and Kerry's like, I don't stand behind the title, I stand in front of it. And then they get in the ring and start going after it. But yeah, it was really cool. Babyface. That's what you want, dude.
I love that line.
Oh, yeah.
I don't stand behind the style, I stand in front of it.
Yeah, I loved it.
That was good.
I would like for Cody to say that. You know,
exactly,
great, so.
Man. So they trade hands, but Bulba comes to save. Here comes Bulba with a knee to the back of Kerry.
Like a They Might Be Giants album.
Here comes Bulba.
This is unhinged.
But Chris Adams and Jeff Jarrett make the save. Those heartthrobs.
They should have been the heartthrob tag team.
Speaking of heartthrobs, man, the Punisher's going to team up with one in this next match.
Okay. I have some things to say about the inhabitants of this match.
The inhabitants.
Yeah, because that's what they are. They're creatures.
4 heartthrobs right here.
So,
October 27th, 89. When the Punisher is the best looking person in the ring, you know it's a problem.
He had a mask on to hide his appearance. And he's the best looking guy. Person.
The Punisher and Latin Lover against Uncle Elmer and Cousin Junior. Have you ever seen a cast of characters like this?
Latin Lover has... I mean, again, I'm saying the bar was so low in Texas, in Dallas, for heartthrob, because this Latin Lover, just calling it a spade, he's got, like, what are they called?
He's got Latin love handles.
Yeah, Latin love handles. He's got moves. I mean, he is, I don't even know if he's Latin. I think I don't know, man. But yeah, and then Uncle Elmer, Uncle Fudd, and Uncle Jesse, or what are their names? Cousin Junior.
Uncle Elmer and Cousin Junior.
These guys just got done noodling in the river or something. Driving.
And didn't change.
No, they have no undershirts. They have just like Levi.
Probably no underwear either.
Or if so, they've been on for a week. Yeah, they even say on commentary, you guys probably haven't washed in a while.
Well, that's all commentary talks about is how bad the hillbillies smell.
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, I cannot believe that these were, air quotes, professional wrestlers at the time. Like, it is insane to me that these guys were on a television show. These guys were on human TV.
Uncle Elmer was in the WWF.
He was.
Back in the day. He was in Hillbilly Jim's family and stable. Cousin Junior might have been. I don't recall. I don't know my 80s.
It looked like
I don't know my Hillbilly family quite as well. Yeah. They could be the Godwins' uncles. Easily,
could be.
Dude. They were the ancestors of the Godwins. And Latin Lover, there was a different Latin lover in the 1997 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
This is not the same guy. I looked this up. Much younger guy who took over the gimmick, I suppose. But yeah, dude, I just put this on here because of just the names of the people, and then watching it just blew me away. It's not even, it's all downhill from here when we talk about the actual match. Uncle Elmer never even tags in. He never even gets physical in the match. He may not even be a wrestler.
It's like
may,
Ralphus.
in fact, he may just be someone's uncle that they needed an extra body.
They were one short on bodies.
He does not even take them up.
They probably truck drivers for the local.
Yeah, they drove the ring there
for the sportatorium. Yeah,
easily. Punisher, he's clearly the most athletic guy in there. He hits his diving clothesline, super high leg drop. It's what do we even need to talk about here? It turns in. There's not even a finish because Skandor Akbar trips up Cousin Junior when he's running the ropes, but then Uncle Elmer tries to make the save, but Devastation Incorporated comes out to make the save for the heels, and who else is there? Devastation Incorporated. We couldn't talk about the territories without talking about this guy.
P.Y. Too High.
Yes.
He's crossed over from Memphis into Dallas.
I'm so happy to see him.
Oh, I'm so excited. And then the baby faces come out. You got Kevin, Von Erich. You got, I'm sorry. Is it Kevin?
I think it was Kevin. Kevin came out for this one.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett.
And then Jeff Jarrett and some other guys. Probably Chris Adams and Matt Bourne. Yeah.
Probably Matt Bourne.
I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they're all out. Again, it's all building. It all goes together. It's just some wild times, though. You know.
Oh yeah, it's very territory-esque, and little things are building, rivalries are building. It's very clear, established who the baby faces, who the heels are. It's not bad. Well, it is bad, but in some ways, the in-ring performances. But it's fun to watch. So the last match of Punisher in Texas that we'll talk about here is a tag team tournament match for the USWA tag team titles. It's going to be Jeff Jarrett and Matt Bourne, which is wild that we're talking about these guys here. Yeah. Matt Bourne, of course, would go on to be Doink, the original Doink. They're going to take on the Punisher and his big teammate, Sheik Braddock, which is... you thought Skandor Akbar was bad. That's what we think of us.
Trying to hit the button.
Oh, that's what he deserves.
We've had 2 crashes of my iPad. This is unhinged. We told you it's a Snyder Cut, guys. Oh, this is wild.
Again, just a white guy in camo pants, and they call him Sheik Braddock.
The best physique of anyone we've seen this entire time.
Yeah.
Small guy. He's probably bigger than like a Tommaso Ciampa is now, but he's small here on what we're watching, but he's probably a big guy in NXT nowadays. But yeah, his name's Sheik, but it's Sheikh. It has an extra H in there, like at the end. And I was like, but why is his name Sheik Braddock? But yeah, once again, NXT name generator, dude. I just don't get it. So it's insane. It's insane.
I just love how they were just giving white guys like these Palestinian gimmicks. And it was just normal.
Right. They wouldn't even get somebody who's like tan. Like they wouldn't get like a Mexican guy from the Dallas, like grab somebody that looks like that and give him.
PYUI was just a white guy.
Yeah. Yeah. The Mongolian bulldozer, Taurus Bulba. Everybody's just white, dude. So, hey, at least they weren't doing blackface or anything.
We're a step away from that.
We're doing the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Just whiten everybody. White out.
Well, you talk about Sheik Braddock look good. I don't know, man. I thought Punisher looked like he'd gotten slightly bigger over the past couple months, man. I don't know what what his workout routine was in the gym or out of the gym, but he looked a little juiced up to me.
Yeah, well, that could have been it. Could have been it.
Looked like he was getting ready for that WCW run that'd be coming up here soon. But man, it's cool to see Matt Bourne not as Doink. Again, another Dark Side of the Ring episode was on Matt Bourne, but I've really never seen much of him I guess I've seen him in WCW. He was Big Josh in WCW, but apparently he was just like a really, really talented, just like straight up wrestler back in the
Yeah.
day when he first started out. So it was cool to get a little bit of that watching this.
Austin speaks really highly of him. I think he had an unfortunate demise, but yeah, as far as his early in-ring career, and that's one thing I wanted to point out too. All kidding aside, is that, and for all, we're not going to talk about Vince McMahon, the man. We'll talk about him, the promoter. You can look at these guys in the ring right now, and yes, Sheik Braddock never had a main roster run, but you got Punisher, you got Jeff Jarrett, and you got Matt Bourne, and all of them are pretty generic. And they would go on, and they're pretty generic. They're just wrestling. It's wrestling. They're just wrestlers, you know. And they'd go on to have, more high-profile careers in the WWF. But it's once they got there and they got a character, they got an over-the-top theatric. The theatrics were turned up. And again, that's not always good. Vince doesn't always knock a home run with that, like somebody like Tensai or something like that, But but look, like nobody would have remembered Matt Bourne, but you remember Doink the Clown. You wouldn't have played as Matt Bourne on the arcade game, but you played as Doink because you got to pull out the sledgehammer and all that kind of stuff. Jeff Jarrett because he was over the top. He was, had the flashy, the glasses and the outfit and the vignettes, and then obviously the Undertaker. So we can knock a lot of sometimes Vince is very guilty of bringing in a guy who should just be a wrestler and putting a stupid gimmick on him. He does that, but there are a lot of times I do want to give the wrestling mind genius part of him some flowers here, because those three guys right there went on to have illustrious careers, and I think a lot of it part due to Vince and the over the topness he gave them. Does that make sense?
I'm really glad you elaborated that on so well, because that's what does make this so interesting to look back at this, because we know all these people's names.
Yeah.
We've seen them before, and it's so funny to see them in these early days. And it is why maybe this Texas territory died out eventually, because, it had a great eye for talent and it was great on a local level, but it could not be mainstream in the way that Vince McMahon made the WWF mainstream.
Yeah,
and
this is 4.5 years after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and look at how
it
just looks so small compared to what Vince is doing, right or wrong.
There's a ton of potential in all these guys, aside from Sheik Braddock, but 3 is not bad.
Probably a personal trainer in Dallas.
Could be, who knows? Maybe he's very happy, but it's a pretty basic tag team match here. They're gonna go back and forth with each other. Punisher's gonna walk the ropes for old school. Holy shades of the spoiler, and this is about as old school as it gets back here. And Sheik Braddock, every time Sheik Braddock comes in, he immediately gets destroyed by the babyface. I didn't notice that. Punisher's doing great when he tags in Sheik Braddock, and he can't get anything off. And
that's what he's there for, though.
At one point, Braddock misses an elbow drop, and Jarrett makes the hot tag to Maniac Matt Bourne. And I say hot tag in quotes because there is no reaction when Jarrett makes this big tag. I don't know what happened here. But Jarrett's going to hit his big finisher at the time, apparently, which is a drop kick off the second rope, and put away the Punisher's hopes for the tag team titles here and send him packing up to Atlanta.
Yep, up to Atlanta. See ya. So goes to Atlanta, and then what's there for a year? And then
about a year.
Yeah, and then he's off to the big leagues. So
kind of, he's talked about it. He'd kind of been everywhere, and this was his last shot. And that's what makes this final match we're going to cover so interesting. Because the Undertaker did have one more interaction with Kerry Von Erich in the WWF, November 10th, 1991, on an episode of Wrestling Challenge, The Undertaker versus the Texas Tornado. And I just thought this would be an interesting way to end things here, this discussion, because both guys have moved on from Texas to the WWF, but their positions, their lots in life have completely changed. Kerry's on his way down after being the biggest star in the territory, and the Undertaker, he's just a couple weeks away from winning the world title. Everything has shifted.
It's the Von Erich thing. It's a classic story of a big fish in a small pond, as far as Dallas. And he goes to the bigger pond, and now he is over. when his
Absolutely.
music hits, when he comes out, he gets a good reaction, especially from the high pitched squeals from the ladies. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely, he was the biggest fish in that pond down in Dallas. You know, his family was, and then he went to, up north, and it just was, yeah, like you said, Taker's only been there for 350 days basically, and in a week he's going to become the world champion. So, but yeah, this was fun to watch, just to see the difference and how far they come in 2 years.
Yeah, how fast,
How
how
quickly,
different
yeah,
it was.
yeah,
And Percy Pringle, he's now Paul Bearer
yeah.
leading the Undertaker to the ring, and they're, as typical during this time, there's a ton of kids just terrified and in awe
Oh
of
yeah,
Undertaker. But interestingly, there's some adults that have the Undertaker T-shirt and the
I do.
Undertaker foam tombstone, which is very odd for a heel at this day and age in 1991 in WWF for them to have that merch.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think one of my favorite things was the casket on the outside that has the Hulk Hogan stickers all over it.
That's
So,
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a little, like a silver casket outside that they're getting ready to, he's going to face Hogan at what's Survivor Series, I guess,
Yep.
in a few days, and so yeah, he's got a homemade casket with these just generic Hulk rules and Hulk Hogan stickers all over and stuff. So yeah, this is back when he was customizing your caskets for his opponents,
And we got Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon on commentary. Of course, they're great. Heenan says,
Bobby.
Taker's hands are colder than a mother-in-law's kiss.
Yikes. Yikes.
And
so
Gorilla's implying that Bobby does business with Taker and Bear, and Bobby's like, whoa, I don't mess with those guys.
Yeah.
He's like, even he's afraid to work with those two guys. So again, it's just, they always do such a great job of getting over the Undertaker gimmick and character and establishing it.
Oh yeah, and he says anytime I'm around him, he smells like formaldehyde, a preservative or something like that. I was like, thanks, we got it. So
we got it.
But yeah, this match is it's really short. Texas Tornado has some neon green tights that don't go along with his beautiful jacket at all. But
no,
but he gets.
I want to say, well, when Tornado comes out, you talked about that casket out there. Kerry comes out and he gives that casket a big long look, and it's just very ominous.
Oh yeah,
knowing what's going to happen to him in a year or so. Very very weird sight to see him staring that down.
And to go back to the Iron Claw movie, in the movie he goes to WWF.
We see that,
and he comes back. I guess it would have been right after this, because I think it was Thanksgiving that he's back at the house. So it probably would have been, timeline wise, right after this match,
Yeah.
Because I think he's home for Thanksgiving, if I'm not mistaken. That's when it is, or Christmas maybe.
They should have had this scene in the movie.
Yeah, see, could have had it. So, yeah, because he's talking about the Intercontinental title and also because he'd already been champion at this point, I believe.
He was Intercontinental champion. Yep, in '90. Yep.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this match is, again, it's really short. Kerry is very distracted by Paul Bearer on the outside, and Taker gets a jump on him, kind of goozles him. Texas Tornado ducks underneath, knocks him out of the ring, but Taker does the perfect 10 landing, because you can't knock him down. It doesn't matter if you're in Dallas or WWF. You can't knock him down. So,
and Kerry goes to the outside, and he starts chasing Paul Bearer around, and Paul Bearer's got the body bag. Kerry grabs it out of his hand and launches the body bag into the crowd. And I just thought, dude, imagine being the guy who caught the body bag.
Yeah.
To take that home as a
That's
souvenir.
awesome.
There's somebody in the crowd that has a body bag they caught
from this night.
Kerry Von Erich. They've got that framed in their man
That's
cave.
Awesome.
That's random. Awesome. So cool.
Yeah, they're back in the ring. Taker hits a running diving clothesline and picks him up and just hits a tombstone.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
The match itself is 2 minutes.
He's
a squash of Texas Tornado, which is kind of sad to see. But but it makes sense. Sad. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's sad to see from what we know, everything we just watched, but it makes perfect sense knowing where we're headed. In hindsight, Taker's about to defeat Hulk Hogan, so he needs to win pretty assuredly here over somebody like Texas Tornado. So
So that is the Undertaker's rivalry with Kerry Von Erich, with the Von Erichs, the Undertaker versus the Iron Claw. They were both in the 1992 Royal Rumble match, but
yes.
don't think they had any interaction or not much if they did in there. So
Yeah.
there's one other match that they're a part of. But yeah, unfortunately, Kerry's going to pass away not shortly after his WWF run. And meanwhile, The Undertaker's going to go on to have the career that he has. But yeah, easily. They could have slotted him into the Iron Claw movie. It's a shame that they didn't. Maybe there'll be some deleted scenes on the DVD. So. Who knows? But
yeah.
Any final thoughts on the Punisher in the USWA?
I'll be honest. I wasn't really looking forward to the actual matches. Once I got into them, I was like, "This is like these territory things are just fun to go back and do." It's fun to see the ridiculousness of it. It's very, very wild, and to see guys we would know become big players later on. So it's fun, and I love Memphis and Dallas. I just love the territories.
Me too.
It's just fun to watch, dude.
I agree.
It's don't you take your sports entertainment hat off,
Oh, yeah.
and just watch it for what it is. It's very fun. So
it's great to just pull this stuff up on YouTube if you got a few minutes and just watch some of these matches and see these guys before they hit it big time. It's always fun to see.
I think the longest clip of any of these was like 12 minutes. So
yeah,
it's not that much to ask, to watch, to go through these. So.
Very different, very unique. So
yeah,
we'd love to hear all your thoughts out there in the Pod Street crew. Do you think the Punisher should have been a part of the Iron Claw movie? Do you think Travis could play a Von Erich brother with this haircut if they could make the Iron Claw too? You think he'd fit right in? Let us know. Hit us up on social media at Talking Taker, or hit us up in the YouTube comments below. We hope you're watching this on YouTube. You're missing half the story if you're not.
Yeah, I've dropped my iPad twice. I'm cracking up these glow sticks. Exactly. I don't know what's happening. They're hanging in my hair. I don't know what's going on.
Be sure to leave us a comment and subscribe for all that good Talking Taker goodness over there. I don't have any comments or anything like that to read.
No comments.
But please do all of that. Hit us up over on tpublic.com if you want one of our signature Talking Taker t-shirts, if you want to support the show that way. You can also follow Travis White at Travis White Music for when he drops that Von Erich concept album here, I'm sure later on in 2024.
Double LP.
Travis, I'm hoping to see you next weekend or this weekend when this comes out. We're going to try to watch night one of WrestleMania together at your place, your big WrestleMania party you got going on with your crew there in Tennessee. I'm going to try to come down for night one. So that'll be a blast. Folks, I hope you checked out our bonus episode with Randy Turco, who came on and completed the WrestleMania quadrilogy with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Triple H with us. So we watched WrestleMania 27 with him, and then we released the mega-sode of all four of Randy's appearances. So if you're getting ready for WrestleMania this weekend, great way to get in the spirit of that, to listen to that mega commentary episode with Randy.
If you're on spring break and you got a long drive down to Destin, Florida, you just pop this episode in, keep your family engaged for 4 hours.
Absolutely.
Listen to it. They'll love it.
Put your phone up on the dashboard and you can play the matches there while you're driving. That's perfect.
Absolutely.
It's yard mowing season for me down here in South Carolina, so I need some podcasts to listen to. So this megasode is perfect for that while you're doing your yard work. And I also did a bonus I did an appearance on Tommy on the Spot, watching along Tommy on his YouTube channel, talking about WrestleMania 23, along with Randy, who was at WrestleMania 23. We reviewed the card and talked about it here 17 years later. So check that out. I don't know when that's going to drop, but before WrestleMania.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
That's Trump and
McMahon,
Battle of Billionaires. Yeah.
Battle of Billionaires, Undertaker, Batista,
Shawn
Cena, Great Khali and Kane, all the big ones.
CM Punk wins Money in the Bank.
That's the next. He's in Money in the Bank. But,
he's in my. Yeah, that's right. He RVD.
Mr.
No, Mr. Kennedy wins. Yeah,
Kennedy.
Yeah. All right.
Tommy has invited both of us to talk about Backlash 2003 next month.
We were there.
2007.
Yeah.
2007.
I'll talk about 2003 too.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk about
That's
that one.
Goldberg and
Goldberg and Rock. Good memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to talk about our Backlash 2007 trip.
Right.
So we'll revisit that.
Josh gave instructions to that guy in Atlanta. Save
that story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do it.
And then I think next month on our show,
May,
what I'd like to do is it is the 25-year anniversary of the pilot episode of SmackDown, which everybody remembers. The Undertaker main evented the first episode of Raw. People don't always talk about that he main evented the pilot episode of SmackDown as well.
Tag team match, right?
Tag team match playa.
That's right.
I think it's
Stay Long special.
Undertaker and Triple H versus Stone Cold and The Rock, which is like, does it get
big.
any bigger than that?
Yeah.
So,
that's like that could main event night one of WrestleMania XL.
Yeah. We're going to watch along that, and I've invited the Stone Cold experts, Mike and JV, to come on and do that with us.
It's been a while.
It has been a while since them on. So we'll talk about the premiere episode of SmackDown next month to get back to the real classic
sweeps, baby.
Undertaker. Exactly.
Russian leg sweeps. Let's go.
I think it was April 28th or 29th,
Yeah.
but we'll do it on May 1st.
That's
when
fine.
we'll put the episode out. So be on the lookout for all of that Talking Taker content. And of course, check out the Bottom Line Boys. They had a great 316-day episode, and they did a watch along for Stone Cold and Kevin Owens from a couple years ago. So it still blows my mind that match happened, you know?
Yeah. Kevin Owens made over 2 WrestleManias in a row.
He did.
Wild. Night one. But that's
Is
crazy.
he on the card this year? Is he booked?
Yeah. Him and Randy and Logan Paul, dude. That's a high profile match. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Logan Paul, dude. Logan Paul match is high profile. So yeah.
That'll be a fun match.
He'll take the pinfall, basically.
You think? I don't know. I could see him winning.
No.
Logan Paul's had the belt for a while.
I think Logan Paul's gonna win it and then lose it to LA Knight later on down the road. So,
okay. All right.
I think that's the case. So yeah.
We'll see.
I think KO's in there to take the pinfall. So and there were Randy, dude. That's a feather in your cap. This day and age, Randy Orton is a legend. So yeah, and also happy birthday to the youngest member of our PSK here, your daughter. So yeah.
I think that's why that Stone Cold Kevin Owens match is such a fever dream for me, because that was 24 hours after my daughter was born.
Yeah.
So, her birthday will be this weekend, so happy birthday to her. You got it. Does Cody win the big one? Does he finish the story this weekend?
I think so. I think Rock and Roman win night one. Got to make it Bloodline Rules the next night. You know, I think Cody wins finally. There may be some outside shenanigans. You know, I'm sure. I don't think the outside shenanigans will directly lead to his pinfall, but I think there'll be outside shenanigans. You know, the Raw of, I guess, right before we taped this, was the Raw where Rock, you know, bloodies Cody backstage, and it was very ominous. There was a trailer with John Cena and Stone Cold's faces on him, and people online are like, nothing is on accident. So people are speculating they'll come out and help Cody win. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I think there'll be some shenanigans, and I think Cody's going to finally win the big one. So
it was also not an accident. There was also a trailer for Wheatley Vodka with Cody Rhodes' face.
Also that,
promoting that. I don't think that was an accident either.
Nope. So yeah, they could have a tequila versus vodka.
Tequila versus vodka match.
Yeah. So yeah,
tequila.
Yeah, exactly. That's the song that plays over the video package. Not quite as epic as My Way, but yeah. Anyway, speaking of My Way, have you seen Fred Durst lately? Go look him up. Anyway, all right. If you were there at any of these matches,
he looks like Taurus Bulba.
He's wearing a Kane's jumpsuit from '98. He's got a gray beard. He looks like he's a guy that eats the KFC Cheetos, man. Like you just see him sitting in, like you walk into KFC, he's sitting there eating a Cheeto. Have you seen those?
Well, we're not going to be sponsored by KFC anytime.
That's fine. They serve Pepsi. I don't like them. I'm just kidding.
Get those guys.
Yeah, I don't care, Pepsi or not.
But shout out to StubForge. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode.
Without question.
And remember, PSK, go to stubforge.com. Go ahead and make your first replica ticket and show us what you made. Tell us why you made it, and we'll pick one of you to send that actual replica ticket to add to your collection.
No
So
doubt.
hit us up on social media, find that post, and send that over to us.
Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, if you were there, any of these Dallas matches we just talked about, let us know. If you were the guy that caught the body bag weeks before Taker wins the first world title he ever gets, let
Serious.
us know. Well,
Or
also,
if you were ripping cigs in the front row.
if you were the guy that took a fat drag after that Texas title win, we really, that guy's probably not with us any
no
longer. He was
He's
about pushing up daisies. Yeah. So if you were related to that man, we want to know, because that guy was happy as a clam. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. Happy April Fool's, Lerpa Sloof Day, ladies and gentlemen. Happy WrestleMania week. Happy NXT Stand and Deliver week. Happy whatever AEW's doing this weekend. Ring of Honor's got stuff going on. GCW. Everybody's in Philly. Get your cheesesteak. If you're going to Philly for WrestleMania, let us know. Wear a PSK shirt. Wear a Talking Taker shirt and show us you're there. We want to see it. We always want to see when you guys are wearing it.
Of course we do.
Yeah. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful, wonderful WrestleMania season. It's about time to end this road to WrestleMania. We'll see what happens. And join us next month. Take her easy.
You gonna say something else?
Yeah. I just dropped it.